Now next characteristic of population we are supposed to read here is population fluctuations. Now why we are supposed to study fluctuations here is, like when we are studying totally from the beginning, we are studying size, density, natality, mortality, biotic potential, all these, right? The size of the population after attaining a certain state of carrying capacity, certain stage of saturation point. We have studied a term called as carrying capacity, right? Now what we said, carrying capacity, a stage where there is no more further growth rate, there is only death rate, and there will be decline, but there will be no hike. Okay, so that is called as saturation point, we said. So when a particular population is reaching to a certain saturation point, or when it is reaching to a carrying capacity, we definitely see that there is a fluctuation in the density of the population. What will happen? You start from slow and you shoot up, and immediately you stop. So what will happen? Either you will see more of the population, or it means downfall of the population. So the population density will definitely show a sort of fluctuation. Now here these changes occur either due to the changes in the physical environment, right? Now these fluctuations are here of three types here. First one is called as seasonal fluctuations. Second one is called as annual fluctuations. Third one is called as eruptive fluctuations. Now what is seasonal fluctuation, annual and eruptive? As the name itself indicates, seasonal fluctuation means a fluctuation which occurs on the basis of seasonal fluctuations, on the basis of changes in the environment. In for example, you will see in those plants which have short life cycles, and seasonal variation, those plants which have seasonal breeding. So this type of plants or this type of animals we show seasonal breeding, or it depends on different seasons, their growth and decline, everything depends on seasons. So in that plants also after reaching a saturation stage, we will see the fluctuation, and that type of fluctuations which are occurring in the seasonal form or due to the environmental changes, then that is called as seasonal fluctuation. Now next one is annual. Annual, as the name itself it comes, it is controlled by the annual differences in the environmental changes, means yearly once, total overall 12 months, 1 year in the environment, the characteristics changes in the environment will lead to the changes in the characteristics of the population of that particular area. So that any fluctuation which is occurring annually in the environment which may affect the characteristics of a population due to achieving the saturation point, then that type is called as the annual fluctuation. Examples you can see in the birds, you can see in fishes and insects. Okay, here you can see the abundance of mosquitoes and abundance of mosquitoes lying in a particular seasonal area. Some cases in a whole year, you will see in some season you will see the presence of more mosquitoes, light ants will be there. In some season you will see the occurrence of more frogs, right? That will come under seasonal. And in annual, year-wise changes, environmental changes that may affect the birds, fishes and insects. Now eruptive fluctuation means if they are occurring in response to any obvious factors. Means those fluctuations which are not occurring either seasonally or not annually, and they are not occurring at regular intervals or in response to any obvious factors, those are called as eruptive fluctuations. So these are the fluctuations which will be, these are changes due to the changes in the physical environment, physical interactions with the populations or both. So this is about population fluctuations. Next most important is, ninth one is, next most important is population dispersal. Population dispersal. This is also very important. In this we will turn according to, we will talk about three terms here. Those are called as immigration, and migration. Three terms we will talk. Okay. Now, what is population dispersal? That is more important here. You will get questions from these four terms here. Now, population dispersal means dispersal. Dispersal means what? Moving away or throwing away or leaving away from the particular area where we are living. Okay. Now, dispersal, dispersing from the original place. Okay. Now, in terms of population, population dispersal. What is population dispersal? For example, we are living here, and because we want something we are unable to sustain in that particular environment, we are being dispersed from the own place. We are dispersed to the new environment, so that in order, either it may be for the food, shelter, or for the survival, right? So, the dispersal depends on the availability of the natural resources, all the availability of the environmental conditions may also lead to the dispersal of that particular populations. Now, here this dispersal, when the animals are dispersing, they are for the food, shelter and survival. Now, when if it is in a case of plants, there is also a concept called as plant dispersal. When it is occurring, when there is overcrowding of the plant population, when there are overcrowding of the plant vegetation, then the plants also show some sort of dispersal. Okay. So, dispersal occurs in human beings also, in plants also, and in animals also. In plants it is because of overcrowding, in animals and human beings for the food, shelter and survival and further growth. Okay. Now, with this regard, we have three concepts here which are very important for your multiple choice or questions or for your exam point of view. First one is E-migration. Here the importance is E. If you take out E, then that is migration. Migration means moving from one place to other, that is different story. E-migration. What is meant by E-migration here? E means without, means migration from original place to the outside place, from our country to other countries, from one area to other areas. Okay. E-migration is a process where it is nothing but the movement of a particular population from our area towards the outward area. For example, in general when we talk, we are e-migrating from one population to the one country to the other country. Why? Because job sources are there, we go there, we earn there, and we try to inherit there, right? So, e-migration is a process which occurs because of the overcrowding of the plants. What will happen? These plants will get outward, dispersed outwards of their own place, and they will go and mingle with the new environment and try to interbreed with the other species of the plants and try to inculcate the develop the heterogeneity and adaptability of that particular environment. Means moving away outwards from their own environment is called as e-migration. Next is I. What is immigration? Immigration process we have heard. What is immigration here? Immigration means letting others to come inside, letting other plants and animals to come into our environment, letting others to come and survive in it is the inward movement of the organisms in the population, into a population. What will happen? Because inward movement of population means because of some changes, more heat, more summer, some birds will come, some animals will come, some birds will take a long drive and come from Australia, all that to India. So, seasonal immigration is there. Immigration will help in increasing the density of the population. The outside people will come, they will adapt to our environment, though it is a plant and animal, they might immigrate from outside to inner environment, they settle down, they adapt to the environment and they show their growth. Okay. So, that will also increase in the density of the population. So, this is called helpful in the increase in the density of the population. Now, when we come in a concept of e-migration and immigration, it is both are called as one-way process. These both are called as one-way process. Means what is happening? E-migration, we are going out of our environment. Immigration, we are taking in from the outside environment. This both takes place constantly and they are helpful during the occurring during particular seasons. Okay, because some animals will have heat sustainability, they go back to their. Okay. Now, next is migration. It is called as two-way process. A migration is called as two-way process. What is two-way process? Migration of plants, animals, or it may be human beings. Migration means at particular time this organism or plant, animals or human beings are going to outside places or outside the country, and they are staying there, they are growing there, and after a particular period of time they come back to their original population. And in most cases this migration of the population is occurring only for three criteria, either for food, shelter or survival. So for seasonal time they will go for a particular time period, they go there, they survive, they earn, again after a certain period of time they come back. So that basic migration, either it is in plants, animals or human beings, it is occurring only for three reasons: food, shelter and survival. And after a period of time migratory movements are common in all the birds, reptiles, birds, all these are seen in the migratory movements. So these are the basic three types of population dispersal. This will be asked: immigration, e-migration are one-way process, migration are two-way process, where at a particular periodic departure will be there of that particular individual, and after certain time it will come back to its original population, and it is mostly seen in all the insects, birds, reptiles, all these organisms it is seen. Okay, this is about the population dispersal, and these are the few characteristics, or we can say that these are the basic characteristics of a population. When you are talking in terms of population ecology, we have to consider all these characters 1 to 9, and we, on the basis of this, we can calculate or we can estimate the population. We can take into consideration all these characteristics and study the population ecology of particular individuals in a particular area. Okay.